Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, and welcome to lesson number 9. I hope that you are in good health and you are practicing what I have been teaching you in the previous lessons. Today, I bring you a very special lesson. I call this very special lesson because most of the people who are reciting are not familiar with the rules of this particular topic. So, without keeping you in suspense, today we would be talking about Ghunna. We are going to talk about what is Ghunna, and then we are going to delve deeper into the topic by discussing the rules of Noon and Tanween. We are going to discuss the Huroof Halaqi. We are also going to look at some examples. We are also going to look at the rules for Meem. We're also going to look at more examples. And then, of course, we're going to practice. So, we are going to learn all of that without wasting any time. Let's jump into the lesson. As always, we are going to start with the what of the topic. And today's topic is Ghunna. Ghunna is a concept in Tajweed, the rules of the Quranic recitation, that refers to the nasal sound produced from the nose while pronouncing certain letters. Now, it is a nasalization that lasts for about two harakats, or you could say that it lasts for the time equal to a standing harakat. And it applies to Noon and Meem. Today we are going to learn the different rules on how and when to nasalize the sound. We would be covering all the rules and all the basics of Ghunna. And before delving deeper into the lecture, I would like to add on that even though it applies to Noon and Meem, it also extends to Tanween as well. Why? Because if you remember in the lesson number 1, when we talked about Tanween, what did we say? The sound, the pronunciation of Tanween is adding the sound of Noon at the end of any letter. For example, if you are doing the Tanween of Ba and you have Do double Zabar on top of Ba, how are you going to recite that? You're going to say Ban. So the sound of Noon is added when you're doing the Tanween. So the Ghunna is applied to Noon, Meem, and Tanween. Now let's look at the first and the easiest rule of Ghunna, which says that whenever there is Noon Mushaddid or Meem Mushaddid, we would do the Ghunna. There is no condition, regardless of what harakat they have in Tashdeed or what letters are after Noon Mushaddid or Meem Mushaddid. Regardless of all of that, we are going to do the Ghunna whenever there is Noon or Meem Mushaddid. And if you don't know what Mushaddid means, it means a letter containing Tashdeed. So let's look at some examples. For example, we have Aydiyahun. Now this sound, this nasalized sound, hun, this is called Ghunna. And we stretch it equal to almost a standing harakat. Aydiyahun. Hun. This is called Ghunna. Thumma Jannatin fil yammi. So this is one of the basic rules, and this is one of the easiest rules to remember, that whenever there is Noon Mushaddid or Meem Mushaddid, you are always going to do the Ghunna in that condition. So remember this. Now let's talk about Noon Sakin and Tanween. Before talking about Noon Sakin, let's first recall what a Sakin is. Any letter that has Jazm is called Sakin. Noon sakin means a noon which has a jazm is noon sakin. So whenever there is noon sakin and tanween, these two are like the prerequisite. If you have noon sakin or tanween, then you're going to consider whether you are going to do the ghunna or not. And in this rule, we have very important set of letters called Huroof Halqi, which are Hamza, Ha, Ain, Ha, Ghain, Kha. These are the 6 letters which are called Huroof Halqi. Now, why are they called Huroof Halqi? Halaq means your throat. All these letters are pronounced from your throat. Hamza Ha from the lower part, Ain Ha from the middle part, and Ghain Kha from the upper part of your throat. The rule says that whenever there is any Huroof Halqi, Lam or Ra after Noon Sakin or Tanween, you would not do the Ghunna. So you have to remember these letters, Hamza Ha, Ain Ha, Ghain Kha, because these letters, they dictate whether you are going to do the Ghunna or not. These 6 letters plus Lam plus Ra. These 8 letters. Remember these 8 letters for Noon Sakin and Tanween. Whenever there are Huroof Halqi, Lam or Ra after Noon Sakin or Tanween, we would not do the Ghunna. We are going to look at some examples and then it would become more clear how you would consider doing the Ghunna by looking at the letters after Noon Sakin or Tanween. And at the start, it might look like this is a bit overwhelming, but as time passes and you practice more and more, this would become a second nature to you and it would become very easy for you to remember. So, Huroof Halqi, Lam, and Ra. You have to remember these 8 words for Ghunna of Noon Sakin and Tanween. Now let's look at some examples. First of all, you'd have to identify where are Noon Sakin or Tanween. In the first example, you have Sayasla Naran Dhata Lahab. Now this Naran, you have Tanween. So you're going to consider what is the next letter. It is Dhal. It is neither Huroof Halqi nor Lam nor Ra. So you're going to do the Ghunna here. How are you going to recite this? Sayasla Naran Dhata Lahab. This nasalized sound. Naran. Then you have Thumma Tashdid, always Ghunna. Don't have to consider what is after Meem Mushaddad. Then you have Anshara. Sheen is not from Huroof Halqi, neither it is Lam, neither it is, nor it is Ra. So we are going to do the Ghunna. Thumma idha sha'a anshara. Inna Tashdid, always Ghunna. إن ربهم بهم يومئذ لخبير. يومئذ لخبير, that lam, it means no ghunna at dhal. Let's consider this next example. وأرسل عليهم طيرا أبابيل. طيرا, tanween. What is the next letter? It is Hamza. As I told you in the last lecture, alif with the harakat is Hamza. طيرا أبابيل. Now there's not going to be any ghunna at all because it is one of Huroof Halqi. So Huroof Halqi after Tanween, no ghunna. وأرسل عليهم طيرا أبابيل. So you're not going to nasalize the sound and stretch it. You're going to recite it as طيرا أبابيل. وقال الإنسان ما لها أن جاءه الأعمى ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. Again, Tanween and a Hamza. No ghunna there as well. فصل لربك وانحر. وانحر. There's ha after Noon Sakin. So no ghunna. جمع مالا. There's a waw after Tanween. So you're going to do the ghunna. فجعلهم كعصف مأكول. There is a ghunna here. يوم يفر المرء من أخيه. Now min, noon sakin. So there is, we would consider ghunna, but we have a hamza So no ghunna there as well. أو يذكر فتنفعه الذكرى. فتن, we are going to do the ghunna here. Why? Because there's a fa, which is neither from huruf halki or lam or ra. So these are the examples for noon sakin and tanween. So you would consider noon sakin and tanween, and then you would look at the next letter to decide whether you are going to do the ghunna or not. Now, Meem Sakin is fairly simple as compared to Noon Sakin and Tanween. Why? Because in Meem Sakin, you only have to remember two huroof, two letters, Meem and Ba. We would do the ghunna on Meem Sakin if and only if there is another Meem or Ba right after Meem Sakin. So this is very easy to remember. Noon Mushaddid, Meem Mushaddid, you would always do the ghunna. Meem sakin, you would do the ghunna only and only if there is another meem or ba. For example, الَّذِينَ هُمْ يُرَاءُونَ. We would not do the ghunna. Tashdid, always ghunna. In tashdid. رَبَّهُمْ, we would do the ghunna because there's a ba after meem sakin. رَبَّهُمْ بِهِمْ وَإِنَّ عَلَيْكُمْ لَحَافِظٍ. There's no meem or ba. We would not do the ghunna at عَلَيْكُمْ. وَإِنَّ عَلَيْكُمْ لَحَافِظِينَ. عَلَيْكُمْ لَحَافِظِينَ. وَإِنَّ, we would do the ghunna on in because there's tashdid. عَلَيْهِمْ نَارٌ. عَلَيْهِمْ, no ghunna. في لوح محفوظ, tashdid, ghunna. مطاع ثم أمين. وأرسل عليهم no ghunna. Why? Because there is no meem or ba after meem sakin. طيران أبابيل, we already saw this in the previous example. طيران, we would not do the ghunna on tanween as well because there's huruf halqi. ويمنعون, no ghunna at yam because there's no meem or ba after meem sakin there. فَجَعَلَهُمْ كَعَصْفٍ. Hum, there is not going to be any ghunna. فَمَا لَهُمْ, again, there is not going to be any ghunna on hum. Why? Because there is no meem or ba. Now it is the time for your test. Pause the video and then spot the ghunna. And of course, I'm going to tell you where there are ghunna in this surah. So without wasting any more time, let's start. Bin Nas, tashdid, you have a ghunna there. Malikin Nas, Ilahin Nas. All three of the verses end with an Nas. Tashdid on noon, which means ghunna. Min sharril, min would have a ghunna because there is sheen after nun sakin. Khannas, tashdid. Sudurin nas, tashdid. Jinnati wan nas. Again, both of them are nun mushaddad. Stop the video once again and spot the ghunna. Let's look at the ghunna. قل أعوذ برب الفلق. No ghunna in the first ayah. Min ghunna on nun sakin. Sharri ma khalaq. ومن, again ghunna. Sharri ghasiqin. No ghunna on ghasiqin. On this tanween because there's huruf halqi. ومن شر النفاثات في العقد. ومن ghunna. Sharrin, why? Because there's no tashdid on noon. And we have وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ, no ghunna on din. Why? Because there's huruf halqi. Again, stop the video and spot the ghunna. This is going to be a very extensive test for you. Let's look at قل هو الله أحد, no ghunna. الله الصمد, لم يلد, no ghunna on lam, neither on ولم يولد. ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. So Surah Ikhlas, there is no ghunna in Surah Ikhlas at all. Kufuwan, you would not do the ghunna on kufuwan, neither you would do the ghunna on walam. Why? Because there is huruf halqi after tanween, and the other is there is no ba or meem after meem sakin. So you would not do the ghunna in either of these cases. Once again, stop the video and spot the ghunna. Let's look at قل يا أيها الكافرون لا أعبد ما تعبدون ولا أنتم. أنتم. You would have a ghunna on أنتم. عابدون ما أعبد ولا أنا عابد. There's a ghunna. Why? Because there's meem mushaddid. Also there's tanween. ولا أنتم. أنتم. Again, another ghunna. عابدون ما أعبد لكم. You would not do the ghunna on lakum. Why? Because there is dal after meem sakin. If there is another meem or ba after meem sakin, we do the ghunna. So in this case, we would not do the ghunna. We would recite it as lakum dinukum waliyadin. So let's recall what we have learned so far. Noon mushaddid, meem mushaddid, you would always do the ghunna. Then you have noon sakin or tanween. In case of noon sakin or tanween, you would do the ghunna only and only if the next letter is neither from huruf halqi nor it is lam or ra. Then we have meem sakin. You would do the ghunna on meem sakin only and only if the next letter is another meem or a ba. So these are all the basic rules of ghunna. So you would, the more you practice, the more you would get familiar with all of these rules. And in the Tajweed Quran, you have this colored sign which tells you the ghunna. That's it for today's lesson. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Inshallah, I'm going to see you in the next video. Take care of yourself. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.